Hello friends, thank you for coming back to another video. If you don't already know, my name is Rachel. I blog over at somerootswander.com. Today's video I'm going to share with you a mini book haul. I bought a lot of books over the holiday season. There were so many sales and deals. Some of them I did buy new, some of them are used. There is a wide variety of books. Some are fiction books, some are cookbooks, some are nonfiction books. So I thought I would do my first ever book haul on this channel and show you all the books that I purchased. So this book I found at Goodwill and I bought it because I am a big Tudor history fan. So King Henry VIII of England, Elizabeth I, Henry VII, War of the Roses, Mary Tudor, and then they also had a brother, James, who was briefly King of England. Big fan of that time period. So anytime I see anything Tudor history related, fiction or nonfiction, I pick it up. This book is called The Secret History of Elizabeth Tudor, Vampire Slayer, as told by Lucy Weston. Yeah, so this is Elizabeth Tudor, the previous former Queen of England, as a vampire slayer. This is probably going to be really horrible, and that's kind of the point of why I picked it up and wanted to read it, because sometimes really horrible books can turn out to be really fun. So I'm just going to read the back of it here. It says, revealed at last in this new vampire saga for the ages, the true untold story of the Virgin Queen and her secret war against the vampire King of England. On the eve of her coronation, Elizabeth Tudor is summoned to the tomb of her mother, Anne Boleyn, to learn the truth about her bloodline and her destiny as a slayer. Born to battle the blood-sucking fiends who ravage the night and sworn to defend her beloved realm against all enemies, Elizabeth soon finds herself stalked by the most dangerous and seductive vampire of all. He is Mordred, bastard son of King Arthur, who sold his soul to destroy his father. After centuries in hiding, he has arisen, determined to rule a world of eternal night and to claim the young Elizabeth as his queen. Horrified by his enticements of everlasting beauty and protection from all enemies, Elizabeth embraces her powers as a slayer, even as she realizes that the greatest danger comes from her own secret desire to yield, to bare her throat in ecstasy and allow the vampire king to drink deeply of her royal blood. Yeah, so this sounds like a 16th, 17th century version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So hopefully this is going to be read this year. It's definitely on my 2022 to be read. I am definitely expecting this to be horrible, but kind of excited about it. So the next book was a gift from my dad because he had an older version of this and he gave me the new one. This is A Field Guide to Wild Mushrooms of Pennsylvania and the Mid-Atlantic. My dad is a big mushroom hunter. He collects all sorts of mushrooms. He eats them. I think he sells mushrooms to people. He's really into it, and since he got into it, I've kind of been into it as well. I also like to go foraging and go for nature walks and identify different plant species and animals. So I don't have a mushroom book specifically. I do have a couple other field guides, so now I have this one to add to my collection. I'm really excited to use it. It does have pictures, like actual pictures that you can reference, so that's kind of nice. Let me see if I can pull up another one here. Yeah, so here's a white chicken mushroom. There's a little bit of glare on there. So yeah, so this goes over, like, it has the picture. It has the detail, growth habits, edibility, gives you just a little brief overview of each mushroom that you can find in Pennsylvania, which is where I live, or in the Mid-Atlantic, so kind of around Pennsylvania and the surrounding states. So yeah, this is another book I got in my haul that was a gift, so thanks, Dad. So this is one of the cookbooks that I got in my haul. I got this on thriftbooks.com. It is called the Farmhouse Cookbook by Sarah Mayer, and I believe Sarah Mare is a farmer in England. I'm really excited to use this book because a lot of this is very like farmhouse, cottagecore, seasonal eating, seasonal living. There's lots of yummy recipes in here. There's wild game recipes, and I love wild game. I grew up in the country in central Pennsylvania, eating, wild food, so wild fish, wild meat. So I'm very excited to use this book. If you don't like eating wild meat or don't like eating things that are a little different than most people, it's not a very Americanized cookbook, I will say that. So this is just, I'll show you, the pictures are gorgeous. So this is a souffle. There's some desserts, there's breakfast. They also have pictures of their farm. So here is a picture of like one of the chicken barns. They also have here's like a salad recipe that looks so good. Let's see if I can find maybe like a dessert, because who doesn't love desserts? Let's see here. Stone ground soda bread, blackberry and brown sugar fritters. Oh my god, that looks so good. Yeah, so this is definitely going to get used a lot in my house. I'm just going to read the back of it for you. It says, This collection of more than 100 mouth-watering recipes is inspired by the traditions of the farmhouse kitchen, but given a contemporary twist. The recipes capture the true taste of today's country cooking and allow you to bring the fresh ingredients and seasonal flavors of a farmhouse kitchen into your own home. Stuffed full of details on selecting the best ingredients, eating seasonally, and foraging, this is a celebration of modern country living and a guide to getting involved with the land and with the produce you eat. So this sounds right up my alley. I eat seasonally. I get a CSA share. I try to buy from local farms for meat, vegetables, produce, eggs, etc. So I'm really excited to try this out. Maybe I'll even do a video of me trying out a recipe from this cookbook. If you would like to see something like that, let me know in the comments below, and we can definitely do some cooking videos or baking videos, because that sounds kind of fun, because I'm a big fan of cooking and baking. So this is my other book from my big thrifting haul. Alright, so the next book I did buy brand new from Amazon. I bought this book because I heard people talking about it on TikTok. I forget who I was following, but she does morning pages where you write 3 pages in the morning and how much that helped her and how it helped her grow her business, and helped her stay creative. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. I want to read more. So this book is called The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron. So basically what this is a course where you read 1 chapter a week, and it has activities that you have to do and check-ins to learn to open your inner creative. And I am a really creative person. I've always been into art and photography, painting, drawing, film. But now that I'm an adult and I work a 9-to-5 corporate job, I have a very hard time being creative and finding time for creativity. So I'm hoping that following along in this little activity book and kind of going through this like little class that you do with the book, that I'll be able to get more creative, maybe reduce my anxiety because I'll have some sort of outlet and I can get things down on paper. I'm really excited to start this. I probably am not going to get into actually doing the morning pages and all the other activities and exercises in this book until maybe in the spring, because I'm a little booked up right now with my life and my schedule. But I am looking forward to it. One thing I will say is that I actually have read a couple chapters of this book already just to see like what's it about. There is a lot of references to like God or a spiritual higher being. So I know some people get weird about God being in books or spiritual things being talked about. But it even says in the book, like, you can call it whatever you want. You know, you don't have to call it a god or gods or goddess, or you could call it the universe or whatever, you know. So, like, you can make it your own. And some of it is a little cheesy, but just, like, look past that and get to the big picture of what the book is trying to teach you. So, yeah, so that is another book from my haul that I did. So the next one is another cookbook. I found this on a bookshelf at Joann Fabrics and it was on sale, so I was like, I have to buy this book. It was actually on my Amazon wish list anyway, so I was like, well, it's in store, it's on sale, I'm going to pick it up. This is a literary holiday cookbook. It has really, really nice cover art. I love it, it's so pretty. So this is by Alison Walsh. It has festive meals for the Snow Queen, Gandalf, Sherlock, Scrooge, and book lovers everywhere. 85 recipes for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year. So I'm really excited about this because I love classic books and classic literature, and I love cooking and baking, like I said earlier. So it is going to be kind of cool to put those two things together. I'm just going to pull up a couple pages here so you guys can get an idea of what the book is like. So this is Blood Orange Scones, and this is the reinterpretation of the classic British scone inspired by the 5 Orange Pips, which is a Sherlock Holmes book. That's one of his most difficult cases. So that is the picture and the recipe. Let's see what else is in here. I do feel like some of these recipes are a little basic, especially for me, who's someone who has been honing in cooking skills for many, many years. But it is kind of a cute idea. So here's a long expected Thanksgiving. This is inspired by The Hobbit. It has honey nut banana bread, mini pork pies, chocolate chip cookies, bag-in orchard salad. Let's see, so that one's for like Thanksgiving themed. They have a Hardy Wilderness Fare, White Fang by Jack London, which I've never read. So Arctic Trail coffee muffins, seared salmon, white whiskey baked beans with bacon, s'mores baked Alaska. Feast of the Sugar Plum Fairy, which is for the Nutcracker, of course. Garlic, rosemary, toasted almonds, pesto and bacon, puff pastry, Christmas tree, Mouse King, cheese bites, and sugar plums. So they have this picture of this puff pastry Christmas tree. Little mouse cheese bites, which I think are super adorable and cute. Sugar plums. Yeah, so they have all sorts of stuff in here. There is Halloween stuff too. So here is like a drink based on Edgar Allan Poe's Nevermore poem. Alright, so this drink is based on Edgar Allan Poe and his poems. So that's definitely a little darker for Halloween. This is really pretty here. The Phantom Rose from The Phantom of the Opera. So that's like another Halloween cocktail. So yeah, I'm really excited to try some recipes out of this as well. Again, if you want to see me bake or cook any of these recipes in a video, that's something I was thinking about doing, literary baking or historical cooking, etc. So let me know if you're interested in seeing that in the comments. Next book on the list is a nonfiction book about reading nature signs. It's called How to Read Nature, Awaken Your Senses to the Outdoors You've Never Noticed, Taste, Direction, Smell, Time, Hear the Weather, and More by Tristan Gooley. Gooley? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Here's like a close-up. Okay, just trying to make sure you guys can see it. So this book I kind of leafed through, didn't go too far into it. I bought this book because I am a big nature outdoors person. My childhood, I practically grew up in the woods, in the country. I love nature. I live in a city now, so I try to observe nature as much as I possibly can. So I thought maybe this book would be kind of fun just to read it and see if it can help me strengthen my connection to nature. I'll read the back of it for you. It says, when most of us go for a walk, a single sense, sight, tends to dominate our experience. But when New York Times best-selling author and expert navigator Tristan Gooley goes for a walk, he uses all 5 senses to read everything in nature has to offer. A single lowly weed can serve as his compass, calendar, clock, and even pharmacist. In How to Read Nature, Gooley introduces readers to his world, where the sky, sea, and land teem with marvels. Plus, he shares 15 exercises to sharpen all your senses. Soon you'll be making your own discoveries every time you step outside. So this sounds interesting. It is really short, so I definitely will read that this year and do some of the exercises and see how I like it. Alright, so that's another book from the haul. Okay, so this next book I originally listened to as an audiobook last year, and I fell in love with it. It was one of my favorite books. Sorry, not last year. I keep forgetting it is January 2nd and we're in 2022 now and not 2021. So I originally listened to this audiobook in 2020 and it is life-changing. This is a life-changing book. There's a lot of hype around it. The hype is real. It is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book has helped me create so many good habits and how to keep them going and how to get rid of bad ones. So if you're a person who has a hard time creating habits and can't stick to them and doesn't understand why your life changes are not working and why you can never just stick to it and you can't be consistent, I highly recommend reading this book because it has helped me out so much. I'll just give you a close-up of the book. It is not a long read. I'll read the back of it, of course. So it says, there's not a lot back here. It just says, packed with evidence-based self-improvement strategies, Atomic Habits will help you... Blah. So there's not a lot on the back, but it says, packed with evidence-based self-improvement strategies, Atomic Habits will teach you how to design habits that work for you rather than against you. So definitely useful if you're into productivity, self-help, self-improvement, creating habits and goals. I highly recommend this book. It will change your life. So again, that's Atomic Habits by James Clear. Highly recommend this book. So the next one we have is another nature book. This one I got from Thrift Books. It is called The Curious Nature Guide, Explore the Natural Wonders All Around You by Clare Walker Leslie. She's apparently the author of Keeping a Nature Journal, which is also on my to-buy list because I really want to start a nature journal. I just haven't gotten to that yet. So let me give you a close-up of this so you can see it. Sorry, I know there's like a glare. Let me try to move it back a little bit. There we go. So this book is really small. It's really basic. It does have the author's drawings and paintings in it. So it has a lot of really pretty details. So this is just a section on spiders. And you can see all the stuff that she drew that she incorporated into this book. So this kind of goes through and teaches you how to read nature signs from insects to the weather, to the moon phases, to migratory birds, which is right here. So that's a little bit about bird migration. And here's another one. Got some animal drawings there. So this is like a really easy, cute read. I think I probably know most of this growing up in the country and in the woods. And being a big nature person all my life. But we have to pause and just appreciate the beautiful autumn leaves here. Autumn's my favorite season, so I have to appreciate this. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. I think this is going to be an easy read for me, and then I think I'll maybe get her nature journal book as well and start nature journaling. So I think I will get her nature journal book too and start nature journaling. So maybe there'll be some content about that in the future. But yeah, this is another book from the haul. So this is another nature themed book. It's called Secret Medicines from Your Garden, Plants for Healing, Spirituality and Magic by Evert Hopman. I originally started reading this on the Kindle, and I was like, there's way too much information here. I need a physical book because I need to start taking notes. Let me give you a little shot of the front cover. Okay, so I got this book because I am dabbling in herbal medicine and natural health and wellness. I have been for a couple years now, so this is just another book to add to my library. It has a lot of different information on different herbal remedies you can make for various illnesses. It also explains what different spirits animals and plants have. So it kind of goes into like folklore, some spiritual things. I believe she discusses kind of like the Native American opinion on different plants and animals. It's been a while since I originally read it on Kindle, but it's just a good reference book to have if you're someone that practices natural living or is interested in herbalism. It has a lot of good information, or maybe even if you're someone who is like a witch or practices witchcraft or Wicca or into any of the pagan-based religions, this might be something that you'd be interested in as well, because it goes into a lot of ancient folklore, especially with, there's a section in here that goes over the magic of trees, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of different stuff in here. There is medical uses of honey, just kind of show you that. There is not many pictures in here. There's some diagrams. Ooh, juniper cookies, that sounds really good. So this is just another herbal reference book. Like I said, I started reading it, never finished it, so I'm hoping to use some of the recipes and information that are in here for my herbal practice. So the next book on the list was actually in my 2021 favorite books that I read video as well, because I originally listened to this as an audiobook, liked it so much that I got it as a physical book. I got it from thriftbooks.com. There are exercises in here, so that's another reason why I wanted a physical copy. It's called The Productivity Project by Chris Bailey. So kind of in the same line as Atomic Habits. I think he actually references James Clear and Atomic Habits in this book a couple times. So this kind of just goes through some rules of how to be more productive, how to get more things done, how to organize your time, organize your life, etc. I know that some people aren't into productivity and things like that. And, you know, I don't like the hustle culture either, but I do like being organized and getting certain things done, especially when I work a full-time job, I manage a house, you know, I do the YouTube and blogging on the side. So there's a lot of things that go on. So I like to be organized, and sometimes I read productivity books to help out with that. So this is a good one if you like self-improvement, productivity, that type of genre. So I highly recommend this. There is pretty much no pictures in here. There's some diagrams, stuff like that. But yeah, this is The Productivity Project by Chris Bailey. Okay, so we are at the last one. I bought 2 copies of this book, one for myself and one for my 4-year-old nephew, because he's a big fan of this movie. It is the Nightmare Before Christmas book. So Nightmare Before Christmas, I watched it as a kid. I have loved it ever since. I have Nightmare Before Christmas bracelets, earrings, shirts, blankets, all sorts of stuff. I've always been a Nightmare Before Christmas weirdo. I know there's a lot of people that are still like that, and even kids now are still watching it. So I got this picture book. It also includes like a DVD and an audio CD that is the original poem. Yeah, it says bonus DVD includes Tim Burton's original poem narrated by Christopher Lee, as featured on the Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas DVD and Blu-ray. So the back does have a 13 deck of cards that's kind of going along with the 12-day Christmas theme, except for it's 13 days of the Nightmare Before Christmas. So the first one here says, on the first day of Christmas, my ghoul love gave to me a star for my fortune card tree. So let me just show you the card. And this is the back of it. So cute. Ooh, and the next one has a picture of Sally. I love it. On the second day of Christmas, my ghoul love gave to me 2 true love potions and a star for my fortune card tree. Yes, this is just, the inner goth chick in me is just so happy about this right now. Yeah, there are 13 different ones. I'm not going to go all through them, but the art is gorgeous. It's really cute. So I just do a little flash. So this, if you're a Nightmare Before Christmas fan, I found this book at Barnes & Noble. It is a special Barnes & Noble edition, so you would definitely want to check out their website to go look for this. But if you're a Nightmare Before Christmas freak, like I said, I am, this is a good one to have in your Nightmare Before Christmas collection. And I'll just kind of open up some of the art here. It definitely gives me, it's just, I love it. It's beautiful. So this is, let me try to make sure I get this in here. So this is Jack flying off to deliver all the Christmas presents on Christmas. Oh, so great. This is going to be something I'm going to treasure for a very long time. I did not read any of this yet, so I probably will. Obviously, this is a really short read. You know, it's very, very thin. It's meant for children. I found it in the children's section. So yeah, I'll definitely be reading this maybe this Halloween or Christmas 2022. We'll see, but yeah, this is one of my favorites out of this entire haul. Alright, so we got through all the books. I think there was like 10, 11, 12, something like that, so it is a mini book haul. I am going to leave a link for each book in the description box below if you would like to purchase any of the books that I showed you today in the haul. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.